Welcome to the Erikson podcast. Erikson, a developmental psychologist, made a major contribution to psychology. His impact is most prominent in how humans develop over the lifespan. Through his developmental stages, he is the only psychologist to describe psychosocial growth beyond adolescence. There are 8 psychosocial stages of development, and at each stage, there is a conflict to resolve. Also, Erikson identifies approximate ages at which each stage occurs. It is important to note that ages are not set in stone, but are influenced by culture and individual differences.
The first stage occurs in infancy, between birth to 18 months. The conflict to be resolved is trust versus mistrust. The second stage, which occurs in early childhood, spans from 18 months to 3 years old. This crisis is autonomy versus shame and doubt. The third stage is at the play age, and it occurs between 3 to 5 years old. The conflict is initiative versus guilt. The fourth stage occurs during school age, from approximately 6 to 12 years, with the conflict being industry versus inferiority. The fifth stage occurs in adolescence, from 12 to 18 years of age. The conflict here is identity versus role confusion. Most other developmental psychologists do not describe development past this point. However, Erikson continues with 3 further stages of development, which we will expand upon.
Most college students are currently resolving the crisis of the 6th stage of development. This stage happens in young adulthood between 18 to 35 years old. The major crisis is intimacy versus isolation. Intimacy comes from meaningful relationships, which can be found in family, friends, or romantic partners. According to Erikson, when people don't achieve intimacy, they feel isolated. The clip you're about to see is from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. In it, you'll see friends struggling to attain intimacy with each other as well as with romantic partners.
So Kostas isn't married.
Why can't you just stop thinking about it and follow your heart?
Because he broke my heart. I feel so far away from my friends.
Haven't heard from you in a while. Call me back.
The 7th stage of development occurs during middle adulthood, around 35 to 65 years old. The major crisis is generativity versus self-absorption or stagnation. The emphasis here is whether one is contributing to society, and generally this is done through family and work. People who have achieved generativity have feelings of stability in the workplace and secure relationships at home. If they do not resolve this stage, individuals may experience feelings of meaninglessness and depression. In the following clip, George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life realizes that his existence creates the stability that his family and the community need. With the realization, he goes from wanting to commit suicide to appreciating life again.
Get me back! Get me back! I don't care what happens to me! Get me back to my wife and kids! Help me, Clarence, please! Please! I want to live again! I want to live again! I want to live again. Please, God, let me live again.
Merry Christmas, Daddy!
Kids! Pete! Kids, Janie! Janie, Tommy! Let me look at you. Oh, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you. With Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap, how do you feel?
Fine. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge of... Hallelujah!
Hello. George! George, darling, where are you? George, darling, where are you? Oh, George, George.
Let me touch you.
The 8th and final stage of psychosocial development occurs from 65 years old to death during late adulthood. The crisis here is integrity versus despair. At this point, adults look back on their lives to see if their life has had meaning. After a successful resolution of this crisis, the individual can look back on their life with happiness and satisfaction while accepting that death is inevitable. Failure to resolve this crisis results in despair and a fear of death due to lack of purpose.
In this first clip, you'll see Jack Nicholson in About Schmidt.
I know we're all pretty small in the big scheme of things, and I suppose the most you can hope for is to make some kind of difference. But What kind of difference have I made? What in the world is better because of me? Relatively soon, I will die. Maybe in 20 years, maybe tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Once I am dead and everyone who knew me dies too, it will be as though I never even existed. What difference has my life made to anyone? None that I can think of. None at all.
Clip portrayed a man who has not successfully resolved the crisis of late adulthood. Now we will show you a clip of The Bucket List, where the character successfully resolves this final developmental crisis.
He saved my life, and he knew it before I did. I'm deeply proud that this man found it worth his while to know me. In the end, I think it's safe to say that we brought some joy to one another's lives. So, one day when I go to some final resting place, if I happen to wake up next to a certain wall with a gate, I hope that Carter's there to vouch for me and show me the ropes on the other side.
Thank you for watching this podcast on Erik Erikson. Happy studying!